Hi there, Dr. Mohan Thomas again. Part 2 of the dark side of the beauty business. Well, I think, if you really analyze what is driving people, it is primarily the expenses. If you buy an expensive tool or a device, average cost 25 to 50 lakhs. The EMIs in such times or any time will kill you if you don't have the vision and the ability to decide what is for you and what is not for you. This is where one of the culprits of this is the energy devices, the distributors, the manufacturers, all showing a real rosy picture out there. You buy this machine, you get 10,000 for a procedure, you do 10 of these in a day, that's a lakh. So in a month's time, if you have 24 working days, that's 24 lakhs. That is a bubble, my friend. It's a dream in a bubble. Unless you have the patient load within, my suggestion is not to buy them, no matter how sweet they are. And unfortunately, for every scrupulous person, there are 10 unscrupulous people, business owners as well as the salespeople. So they are one of the culprits, and you need to be careful with that. Now, the other thing is, when you buy an expensive machine, then you're not able to service the EMI. That white elephant, and we have all bought some white elephants. I'll tell you about my elephant towards the end of this talk. What will happen in the minds of most people is, anybody comes in, they find a use for the device, even if it's indicated or not indicated, because it is no longer a evidence-based treatment. It's a need-based treatment. You need the money to service the EMI. So somebody requires X, somebody requires Y, somebody requires Z or Z. You will end up doing those things just to service your EMI. Isn't that a terrible way to run your practice in your life? Do you sleep well? I'm not saying everybody out there is doing it, but you'll be driven to that. So don't buy machines and don't buy devices that cannot be supported by the existing business model that you have. At the end of the day, you will not be doing any service to yourself unless you don't have a conscience, or you won't be serving the public at large. Isn't that a terrible way to feel about yourself as a doctor? Now let me tell you about my white elephant. Some 10 years ago, we bought a machine. I can't mention the name of the machine, something shaped, okay? It was supposed to be a non-surgical way of reducing fat. We fell for it. I fell for it hook, line, and sinker because I listened to other folks, and we bought it. So it seemed like a pretty clever device. It was an ultrasound device, was a HIFU, and with all fancy bells, whistles, TV monitors. I didn't care about that. Anyways, we did patients. We had 27 patients that we did. Out of the 27 patients, 7 people were okay with it. Perhaps they didn't want to hurt my feelings, maybe they kept quiet, I don't know. But the other 20, while we could show inches, centimeters, or other centimeters, nobody was terribly happy or impressed. We had 2 choices: continue this charade, collect money, pay our EMIs, but we opted not to. We decided not to use the machine, and we kept it in bay. So that's our white elephant. I have it. If anybody wants it, you can call me and take it, pick it up for nothing. So in the end, towards the end of my talk, now I'm coming to the end of my talk, I will tell you how we got suckered. First of all, the people selling it to us had no conscience. We didn't use the right side of our brain. So we made the purchase. Then we went to a bank. We had to put 30% down on a machine that cost almost 1 crore rupees. I should have had a light go off in my head. Why do I say this? Because the banks had an internal discussion and they said, look, this is a new technology, emerging technology. We cannot give you more than 70%. The bank was smarter than I was. So then with 77,000 rupees per month, almost 18 years ago, maybe 15, 16, I don't remember. However, we took our loss, we took the blows to our head, paid it off. It was a colossal mistake on my part. But I can sleep well then and now, knowing that we never used it because it was quite ineffective. There are still lots of machines floating around with all kinds of cool names, sculpting, all those kind of stuff. These is what sculpts bodies. You understand? If I had an idiotic machine that I plug into somebody's rear end or the front end and say, punch in the button, get rid of the fat, while I sit and sip a cup of tea or coffee for that matter, is there such a thing? Then why am I treating so many defects from these devices out there? And unfortunately, because we have Indians with Fitzpatrick 4, 5, and 6 skin, not only do they have defects, they have hyperpigmentation. So before you jump in and do something, please do your research, do your homework. Everybody's a researcher these days, you know that, right? Google. I have young girls sitting in front of me, or young boys, 16, 17 years old. I feel I'm taking a board exam. But that's okay. I mean, if they want to ask questions, I'm not feeling, my ego is not that big that people that get offended by a question. Please feel free. It's a free country. At least hope we should remain free. Okay, so that's the end of my talk today. Please be smart, please be wise. Remember, unfortunately, it's a business. We don't run our office like a business. We don't refer to our patients as clients. I don't want to take care of clients. A client is in a barbershop. A client is in a food store. I can be a doctor to healthy patients. These are healthy people. I just happen to be doing aesthetic procedures on them. But I'm not going to cease being a doctor. After all, don't doctors see healthy patients, or they see only sick patients? And that's why they're called patients. That means if you're sick, you're a patient. If you're healthy, you're not a patient. You're a client. How ridiculous is that? Perhaps the veil of decency and the conscience that we possess has been wiped away by this new term called client. So I'm not sticking a knife into a patient, but I'm sticking a knife into a client. How's that? Do people lose sleep having screwed clients? No. So it's convenient for a lot of people. I don't have clients in my office, and I don't ever want to have clients. I want a doctor-patient relationship the way it used to be, where my job is to look after the welfare, the health, the good looks, or whatever I'm supposed to do, and keep them out of harm's way. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my position. I'm a doctor. I went to medical school to be a doctor. I will always service the needs of patients, and I don't take care of clients. Take care of yourself.